Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I have seen this what if requested a lot in the comments and I thought it would be very interesting. There are many points we can begin the fanfiction from. Obviously we will be on Mortis with Anakin, but at what point? Are the father, son and daughter dead? Or maybe only the daughter? I thought I would leave them all alive and start the what if after Anakin passed the test given to him by the father. The father captures Ahsoka and Obi-Wan and orders his children to kill them both. But Anakin is able to tame both the son and the daughter into submission, thus freeing his master and apprentice, but more importantly, he revealed himself as the Chosen One. Only the Chosen One would have the potential in the Force to tame the son and the daughter. This is where the father explains to Anakin that he is dying, and Anakin must stay on Mortis to replace him after his passing. Now, as we know from the Mortis arc, Anakin doesn't stay and many more events transpire which eventually led to the father, son and daughter losing their lives. So in today's what if, we will be starting from where Anakin accepts the father's request to stay on Mortis. Ahsoka and Obi-Wan were extremely upset at the decision Anakin had made to stay on the planet, but Anakin explained to them how necessary this was. It was the entire reason he was born in the first place, to bring balance to the Force. By staying on Mortis, he would be able to control the son who is the pillar of the dark side and the daughter who controls the light. Ahsoka and Obi-Wan leave Anakin on Mortis and go back to Coruscant, a decision they were not pleased with. The Jedi Council would be informed of the actions Anakin made on Mortis and how he has replaced the father. The Jedi Masters were very confused by this. They had all the knowledge in the world, yet lacked any evidence of the hidden realm of the Force. Only Yoda was able to speak up through his 900 years in the galaxy to confirm the tale that Ahsoka and Obi-Wan spoke of. In his youth, he had once come across scrolls and ancient temples detailing the trio of the Force users on a hidden planet. There wasn't much the Jedi could do. They continued business as usual, still in the middle of the Clone Wars. It was Anakin's role to learn from the father before he passed away, so that he was strong enough to keep balance. In the father's thousands of years alive, he explained that he never had to interfere with mortals' battles and only focused on his children. This was because the light or dark was never fully destroyed to the point where balance was completely interrupted. Even with the obliteration of the Sith Order a millennia ago, the rule of two kept two Sith alive at all times, maintaining the balance between good and evil. Anakin's powers were fully realized under the father's training. He learnt how to use the Force in ways he never thought possible, techniques that the Jedi could only dream of using. Anakin became almost invincible, becoming the Force itself. He became so powerful, he was able to learn the father's ability of touching a lightsaber. This was because they were both celestial beings, birthed from the Force itself. However, Anakin was only strong enough to touch lightsabers. He could still feel them when he was impaled through the stomach. He trained every day with the son and daughter, mastering his abilities and the knowledge that paralleled them. Meanwhile on Coruscant, Palpatine reached the stage where he knew he had lost Anakin forever. This led to him taking matters into his own hands. He pulled out his comlink and executed Order 66. Clones from all over the galaxy arrived on Coruscant and marched the steps of the temple with Chancellor Palpatine. Without Anakin to lead his warriors into battle, he had to do it himself. As clones fired upon the Jedi, Palpatine raised his hands, shooting lightning at anyone in sight. Common Jedi Knights didn't deserve the attention of Sidious to ignite his lightsaber. He mocked their ways by simply holding his lightsaber in his hand but refusing to use it. He commanded the deaths of thousands of Jedi all over the temple and across the galaxy. No one would survive. Even when Master Windu and Master Yoda revealed themselves at the temple, they would be quickly dispatched by Palpatine. Only in that instance would he elect to ignite his crimson blade, stemming from his golden hilt. Piercing both Windu and Yoda through their hearts, all of the Jedi lost their lives that day. Balance in the galaxy would be interrupted. The lone stragglers who survived across the galaxy either cut their ties to the Force or denounced themselves the title of Jedi Knight and simply just became Force users. Palpatine, without an apprentice of his own, was able to slaughter the entire Jedi Order. After years of learning from the father, Anakin had learned all he needed to replace him. The father retired for the night to get some rest. As he lay there, he felt his life force slowly leaving him. He lay perfectly still. A small orb emerged from his chest, just like a Dementor's kiss would steal a person's life essence. The orb exited his body and left the castle. It shot straight up into the air before making its way into Anakin's heart. He was the father now. After the father's death, Anakin had replaced him. News quickly spread to Mortis of the destruction of the Jedi Order and rise of the Empire. Anakin was angry and wanted answers immediately, but it was the daughter who told him to maintain restraint and think of the galaxy, not his own desires. This is exactly what Anakin had trained for, putting the galaxy before himself. Over the coming days, the dark side energy on Mortis was far greater than the light. It was slowly consuming everything. Usually at night, the dark side took hold of the planet, while during the day it was controlled by the light. But now, almost the entire day was controlled by the dark side. With the Jedi defeated and the Sith as rulers of the galaxy, balance had been fractured to its core. The Mortis gods would have to intervene and save the fabric of reality before the darkness took over. The Sun was against this, as he wished for the darkness to have a larger staple on the galaxy. To keep him from disturbing the mission, the Sun was locked away. The daughter and Anakin left to face Palpatine and destroy the Sith. They entered his office, much to Palpatine's shock. He had no idea who this random bright woman was, but focused all of his attention on Anakin. Anakin spoke immediately, saying he would be a tyrant no longer. When Anakin threatened to destroy his empire, Palpatine was enraged. He stood to his feet and ignited his lightsaber before charging at Anakin. He swung with all of his might, needing to land just one hit on the boy. But Anakin moved swiftly, dodging all of Palpatine's swings. He didn't carry a lightsaber anymore. He had reached the point of power to which he didn't need one. Anakin merely toyed with Palpatine, making him dance around the room like a fool. This only angered Palpatine more. He raised his hands and tried to lift Anakin with the Force, but it was to no avail. Screaming, he swung the saber at Anakin's head, to which Anakin pulled out his hand and grabbed the blade. His power was complete. He pulled the lightsaber out of Palpatine's hand with sheer strength. Palpatine had never seen anything like this before. He simply gave up and resigned to the fact that he was defeated. He fell to the floor and pleaded for mercy. The daughter stepped closer to Palpatine and smiled. She raised her hand and began sucking the energy from Palpatine and replacing it with the light. He was the final Sith. Destroy him and the Jedi and Sith would have equal numbers. Palpatine was reduced down to an old man with a positive outlook on the world. All of his hatred and anger was removed from the daughter. Anakin placed his hand on Palpatine's shoulder and took his Force powers away, a special technique he had learned from the father. Anakin and the daughter had brought balance to the galaxy once again. Palpatine would soon be removed from the Senate and the next Chancellor would take over, reinstating the Republic and destroying the Empire. After Anakin defeated Palpatine, he had one more place to visit. Landing his speeder on the doorstep, he enters the apartment of Padme Amidala. As he comes into her vision, tears flood her face and she falls to the ground. It had been a very long time. Anakin ran over and comforted her, apologizing for leaving so soon and that it was necessary if he was to keep the balance in the galaxy. She stared into his blue eyes. Her husband always had to be the hero, she thought. They missed each other more than anyone would ever know. As they hugged and reintroduced themselves to each other, two children came running past, asking what was happening. Both children looked around the age of 3. Anakin immediately knew who they were. Padme spoke up, telling Anakin that they were Luke and Leia, his children. Their future was decided at that moment. Padme and the kids would move to Mortis with Anakin and help him keep the balance in the galaxy. They raised their family and had more kids of their own. Anakin and Padme would grow old together and live a very happy life. Although extremely powerful, he too would eventually pass away, eventually causing an explosion of power to be released into the son and daughter. Now there was no one left to control their power. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you didn't know, we are giving away a replica Cal Kestis lightsaber from Neo Sabers. All you need to do is head over to the video What If Qui-Gon Survived and like and comment on it. Be sure to leave either your email or Instagram so that we know where to contact you. There is a link to it in the description below, or check it out on our channel page. The winner will be announced at the end of the month. Also, check out Neo Sabers if you would like a lightsaber of your own. They have a bunch of awesome replicas to choose from at an affordable price. What do you guys think would happen next? Will the son go back to mortal existence and start his own empire, or will the daughter be able to stop him? Honestly, I'm not too sure yet, but I thought the long-term outcome would look something like this. Let me know what you guys thought of this in the comments below. It was a lot of fun to write and very interesting to think about. I hope you all enjoyed, and may the Force be with you.